We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.
Welcome to the 510 Huddle. We back again with a special guest. You kicking us off, D-Lane?
Oh, I got you, man. We in the building today. It's your boy Coach D-Lane. I got my guy. That was a minute ago. You can see us right now, right, Coach Allen? I just seen
I
him
got
pop
you.
up.
Yep.
Okay. We seen your chat pop up. Got my guy in the building, man. Coach Montell Allen, man, from the SoCal. He in the building right now, online with us. How you doing, Coach Allen?
Man, holding it down, man. Just trying to, live another day, fam.
Okay. And I know you just came from practice, so tell the people where you coaching at right now, Coach.
Right now I'm coaching down south in Rancho Christian out here in Marietta. Small little private school, but I represent San Diego, the greater San Diego. A lot of kids out there, a lot of ballers, just like Oakland. Um,
Yeah,
same players, different hustle. We just got a little bit more
yes,
sunshine
sir.
than y'all got. That's all. But the grind is still the same,
Yeah.
man. It's still the same everywhere we go.
And
So
did y'all have a season this past year, or are y'all about to play in the spring right now?
we're,
I know. Matter
we're
of fact, y'all about to play in the spring, right? Yeah, all the
Yeah, we're
Cali
playing
schools
spring
just got.
ball. Yeah. So we're playing in the
Okay.
spring. I mean, long as COVID let us. So we got some teams got 4 to 5 games, just depending on where you at. Just gets basically for the class of 2022, man, to get knock the rust off of them, get them ready for the fall, so they can get some film to get recruited.
Yeah,
Unfortunately for class of 2021, the guys that are playing, they just basically participating because the recruiting season is already over, basically for them guys.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna get into that too in a minute
Yeah.
before we cause I got a question or two on that. But let's just start. Matter of fact, before we start from the beginning, I want to ask you, Coach, about your NBA sports program. Can you tell us about that? What
Yeah.
made you want to create that first and foremost?
Absolutely, man. That's a nonprofit that I started basically to help kids get recruited, man. I mean, I saw a lot of kids just kind of not having an opportunity. I was blessed to play college ball, so I had a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues that were in the business and the industry, coaching all throughout colleges, and I just started shooting kids their film. There was a guy that was in Southern California that was doing it. He kind of set the tone, and then I started my own business to kind of do it, and then it kind of took off, man. And I just been blessed to be able to meet players throughout the state of California to help them find a home. I mean, everybody's not Division One, as we know, and if they're not Division One, that doesn't mean there's not a home for them to go play football. Get an opportunity to get that piece of paper, that degree, and then come back to to our communities and contribute. So that's kind of the premise of where it all started from. Just giving back, man, to the community, basically, man, and helping young men, instead of taking that penitentiary chance, have an opportunity to go to school, start their own businesses and do things like that.
That's amazing. And how long have you been doing this program?
Man, I've been doing it now probably close to 10 years. I probably got about at least over 1,000 people in colleges, roughly. I wouldn't even say that,
Wow.
maybe a little less than 1,000. But I know we did a calculation not too long ago. I mean, I've saved over $4 million in kids getting scholarships and grants and stuff to go ahead and participate. So, I think
Man,
I'm
that's
making a little bit of an impact, man. I mean, I'm not, I wish I could do more. It's funny, I don't remember the ones that go. I remember the ones that don't make it more so than that, the ones I couldn't help. So, but it's all good, man. Like I said, the more I can get off the streets, man, the more I can get them an opportunity, the better blessed we all are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
well,
man.
that's amazing though. That's still doing a lot. Over 4 million scholarships. I
Yeah.
mean, that's amazing. And right now with your kids, I want to touch on this a little bit. You said the 2021 kids are just participating. So if they didn't have junior film, it was pretty much a wrap. That they had to take the JUCO route.
Yeah, I would. I mean, that's pretty a recommendation right now. Or you take an opportunity and then maybe going to a lower level, and doing it that way. The landscape of recruiting has changed. It's changed big time, especially with this COVID year. So we're not allowed to visit a lot of campuses. As coaches aren't allowed to come and visit. So a lot of things just kind of manifest and kind of went away. So if you're a class of 2021 and you didn't have really good junior film, it's kind of hard for you to get recruited. And really, they recruit you off your junior film. To be honest with you, your senior film just to solidify it. So if you don't have junior film and you were counting on this senior year, your only opportunity, man, is either going to prep school, going to junior college, or maybe taking a chance to maybe play in NAI or Division 3 or Division 2, and see if the opportunity is there where you can ball out. and go ahead and get and bump up if you want to go into the transfer portal. But that's all that's risky. All that is a risky opportunity. You know what I'm saying? At that point. The bottom line is grades need to be right. You know, if your grades is right and you're good, you know, I want to encourage kids, walk on. You know, if you that dude and you that guy and you didn't get that opportunity, but you had a little bit of conversation with those coaches, figure out a way to walk on. You know, if you're a D1 guy. Otherwise, more so than junior college than any time, I recommend you go to a 4-year university off the bat instead of JUCO, because now with the portal, there's no sit out rule. You get one transfer and you don't have to sit out no matter what, going up or down or lateral. So with that being said, it's actually easier to transfer to a Division I school out of a 4-year than it is at a JC right now. Because you know at a JC you got to earn that AA if you don't get out your first semester. So the whole game has changed, man. The whole recruiting thing is changed on out now. It's different.
And that was just free game for any high school kid listening right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
man. I mean, what's up?
Go ahead, Coach. Finish. Go ahead, Coach.
No. I'm just saying it's crazy, bro. I mean, it's just the game is crazy, and let's be honest with this. You know, between all of us, it's a way to weave us out. It's a way to weave us out from not going. You know, to make sure we take the hard route, take the JC route, because we know if we go to JC, the outside, it's not the school and it's not playing ball. It's the outside stuff that gets us at JC, because we're pretty much in the same community, same environment. So outside entities affect us. Going that 4-year route, especially when we don't have lower divisions in California, we got to go out of state. We got to uproot ourselves, do something different, and then figure our path out. So, man, it's all messed up right now, as far as I'm concerned. There's no easy way to get in no more.
Yeah, I find it real tough for the class of 21, man, right now, because I'm recruiting some of them kids right now for Laney, and I just talked to some kids, like I got a 6'4" kid that can ball out of high school, transferred high schools to have a big senior year that didn't happen, obviously, but probably about to have a 4 or 5 game season. But I think he could potentially play Power 5, but he about to probably take a low D1. But he was telling me the low D1 won't even let him commit right now. He's like, yeah, coach, I got the scholarship, but they just not letting me commit. It's a few kids I'm talking to.
I'm gonna hit you the game. This the way it's going right now for class of 2021. For anybody that don't know, the way it is right now, the recruiting season is over. It's over with. So what that means is there's a few dollars left over, but that is left over for the people in the portal. And let's be perfectly honest, California kids, we're the only state that didn't play. So all the 40 other 9 states played. So who could care? They don't care about California. As much talent as we got, as good as
didn't play, Coach.
What's up? Say it again.
Were we literally the only state that didn't play?
I think maybe Oregon and Hawaii or Oregon and Alaska.
I know that.
Yeah. But the main states where people recruit from, especially from the Power 5, are Texas, who played, Florida, who played, Ohio, who played. If you want to go East Coast, Virginia, who played, Georgia, who played, Louisiana, they played. So all those schools where everybody goes to get all their talent from, they played. The only one that didn't was California. And with that being said, all those guys that were ranked, that had their stars and was ready to go, they had junior film and coaches had relationships with, they got out. They're good to go. They're good because they based it off their junior film. Them last ones, guys, like the guy you saying, the example for the young man you got, he has no film, or he has very little junior film that wasn't impressive enough. He was probably banking on in the senior year to really ball on out and get some looks, but that's gone because all the money left over right now for every school, and this is including Division II now, the money left over for those schools are for transfer portal guys pretty much only. Like this 4 or 5 game season, this wasn't for kids, man. This is for more of in my opinion, it's more for adults to play and for more of them to get the kids, just get them outside, because it's not really the best interest of class of 2021. There's really nothing there for them. And if you've already signed or you already got a thing, the only thing you are doing is participating. And if you already signed, you're just risking injury at this point. And playing with your homeboys, to get the last hoorah in. But that's cool. But I mean, basically, you're pretty much just risking injury if you're 2021.
Yeah, it's not no state, no nothing.
And Coach, earlier I was telling my guy Zay how I actually ran across you as far as and I think it's funny, you basically boasted my recruiting profile right at the end. You feel me? Right at the end of recruiting season. Remember we had the I met Coach Allen in the All-Star game. Yeah, he was my position coach in the All-Star game, and he seemed like a player or whatnot. And signing day had just passed. I believe that All-Star game was after signing day, and
Yep,
I didn't
yep.
sign. And you actually landed me a D2 off right before I picked like a JUCO to go to before the summer hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about going, but it's the fact that you just boasted that profile and made those calls for me. Had coaches and recruiters at my door for me, like heavy, like real quick right after that game. You had that for me. So my question to you is,
Yeah.
overall for your business as far as NBA sports, how had you kind of just touched on it, but for class of 21 and class of 22, has it overall just been tough for you to land guys any type of money overall,
Yeah,
like in the
yeah, man.
brand right now?
It's tough, man. Yeah, it's real tough now, man, because coaches now have the opportunity, the ability to be very selective. You know what I mean? So where I'm pitching a kid from California who didn't have a senior season, even though he's a baller, they're saying, why should I go get that kid when the kid from Texas, maybe a little less of a baller, but he played this year. He had a
Yeah,
season. You
yeah,
know, he's a qualifier. He's good. I'll take the kid from Texas right now because he had a senior season and your guy didn't. So for me, being in California doing recruiting things, it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to sell. I should say, sell kids. Typically, it was easy to sell them. Hey, I got it. I got a baller. Got a kid coming from out of Oakland Tech. He's this dude, man. Go get him. Now it's like, coach, why? Why should I go get him when I can go get a kid from Ohio, or I can go get a kid from Georgia, who's just as well. That brings me back to another point. I hate to say this, and I'm gonna be frank. California kids are spoiled asses, and what I mean by
mm,
this, we're leaving a tainted trail on these schools east of the Mississippi and even in the Midwest because we always want to come back home. I know you know D, because I know guys from California.
yeah,
Not many last in Southeast Louisiana. It's very far
yeah,
and few, and they
I'm gonna
don't
yeah.
they
say
don't
All
recruit
right.
California because they say,
Yeah,
yeah,
coming back.
they don't like
yeah,
them
you
because
coming
we
back.
always coming home. you know.
Yeah,
And this is what I found the difference is, man. So I was chopping up with some coaches, and the reason why we see Florida kids on every roster, the reason why we see Georgia kids on a lot of rosters, the reason why we see Texas kids on a lot of rosters, when they go to these schools, that's it. They're they don't got nothing to go back home to. To be for real, they poor is a lot different poor from us in California. So
facts.
when they go from there, they don't. That's the best. That's the best living they ever had when they go to them schools. So they
Mm,
stay. Us, we are in a hurry every time we go to them places to come home during Christmas break, come home during summer, and finding an excuse not to go back instead of winging it
mm,
out. D, you was a JC transfer, so you was a little bit older, but I'm talking about now a 17 and 18-year-old.
yeah,
They just want to come back home and be with their homeboys and be with their girlfriends and be up under mom and dad, and live that life where not only are they detrimenting themselves, but they're detrimenting the next dude that does want to go. Because now those coaches are saying, I'm not recruiting them out of Cali. So that whole mentality's got to start changing, man. Or we gonna start eliminating ourselves from so many schools that we only gonna have the West Coast schools to be able to market ourselves to.
mm,
And
mm.
and that leads me to a point. Do you think California will ever get another D2 presence of at least 2, 3 schools?
I'm praying on it, man, and I hope you guys are an instrumental voice. I think the way the California state schools is basically they eased us out, and I kind of start the way it is. They bamboozled us with Title IX. The way they eliminate the programs at first. Title IX was the issue. Can't have enough, and if people don't know what that is, that means you have to have the equal amount of women's scholarships, the same as males. So
Mm,
obviously, there's no women's sport that houses 100 players. It can house that many scholarships. So with
yeah.
that being said, those schools eliminated football. That's the easy thing to do, right? But
Mm-hmm.
instead of figuring out a way and investing in different programs to make sure we do have those things, because let's be honest with you, who does it affect the most? Us,
Yeah.
men of color. We
Yeah.
make up most of the rosters. Every roster
Mm,
across the country, we make up about 85%, unless you go like the Ivy Leagues or something like that. But majority of all the schools, we make up at least about 85%. And I'm talking black, Filipino, Mexican, Samoan, and so on and so on. We make up the roster. So eliminating that, look, if we just brought back the schools we had: Humboldt, Chico, Sonoma State, San Francisco State, and who else do we have? Oh,
I
Cal
was
State East Bay.
gonna
And Cal State East Bay.
I was
If
gonna
we
ask
just
you, Coach, did Azusa cut off their program? Do they still got it?
this year they're gone. We don't have any D2s in California. So
Man.
you got to think if we had those 5 state schools that had it, that's 500 men have an opportunity to get their education, 500 guys playing football, 500 guys that's going to eventually graduate, 500 people that's going to go back in the community, 500 guys that are not going to commit crimes to survive their family, 500 guys that's going to be able to start businesses, and after a while they change their whole generational wealth because their kids don't do it. Their kids and kids are always not going to start going to school. So that's just 500 lives. That 500 lives touches about 2,500 lives at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and they cut that off.
Yeah.
So those schools, the BS talking about we'll just cut it off now. They talked about the now effect. What about the future effect? Because in that same time they cut these schools off, guess what population rose in that same age demographic from 17 to 23? Pelican Bays, Folsom, San Quentin, all their numbers went up while school numbers went down. And it amazes me how these schools can cut these programs off when football is usually the number one money maker
Money
out of all
maker.
their athletics.
Man. That's the
Regardless
one
of how small, yeah, regardless of how small, yeah, that's the number one money. So tell me, in what business plan did you cut off your number one money maker?
Yeah.
Because science fairs don't bring no money, debates don't bring no money.
Yeah.
As much as we need them, they don't bring any money. But football brings money. I don't care if it's Sonoma, San Francisco State. If they only had 35 fans, that's more than they had at the debate club, guaranteed.
Yeah.
So why are you cutting off your number one moneymaker in your athletics? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know if it's even just a target on athletics, coach, as far as in California in a whole. Because me and my co-host was having this conversation, me and Zay, and Zay's in tech, so we was having this conversation earlier as far as just tech and everything, and how to get more inclusion, more Black people into tech and whatnot. And I was just telling him, I work besides coaching, I work in the education, and I've been working in education for the county in Alameda for like 2-3 years, county office of Alameda, and or Alameda County office, excuse me. But I just realized that our education, like California, is like in the low 40s out of all the states in education. But we're like we're in top in policing, and we're top in prison systems and shit like that. But we don't put a lot of money into our education system overall as a whole state.
But that's a relative point, because the education, let's be honest, at your high school education, the only part that counts is your testing, as far as they're concerned, is what measures if you're being smart or not. Your testing, your standardized testing. Otherwise, your classes, you're fine, which is great. Like this year, since they waived the SAT and ACT, it's based off your GPA. Now that becomes now an individual issue. That becomes an individual issue. If you're an individual at that point, you got to go to class, and if you go to class and do good in school, you'll be rewarded with an opportunity to go to college. Now, Isaiah, I'm feeling you because you're in the tech industry and so am I. The one thing that's in the tech industry that me and you both know, they always say there's not enough men of color for them to pull from to be able to hire.
And we can talk offline about this, but I also work for a program called Us in Tech. We help minorities get into tech sales from entry level. So
there you go.
We're trying to work with different colleges and stuff. So men are knowing, even Laney, like you're in JUCO, like this is an opportunity to go one of the highest earning fields, as you know, right out of college. So, but yeah, we can talk about that all day. And they always say there's no pool to pull from, yet 10% of college graduates are African American, yet only 1% work in corporate. That doesn't make any sense.
Let's do it this way. But of that 10% of the graduate, how many are male or female? You're gonna get a lot more females than males.
That's very true.
So what I'm saying is they're cutting out our dynamic of males being able to have an opportunity to go to school, males have an opportunity to be a breadwinner, males have an opportunity to be successful, males have an opportunity to be in leadership. You being in the tech world, I'm being in the tech world. What I do find is a lot of females get those opportunities. And 100%. I'm not knocking females. I think it's wonderful that they're making an impact, they're doing everything. But everyone is vested in females, and we know this is like woman. I think international woman recognition and all that good stuff. A lot of visibility are done on females and female minorities, and I'm loving it. But us as men, all our avenues are being cut off, and sports is a big avenue for us in order for us to attract us to these schools. Football is a huge mechanism that attracts us to these schools. Sonoma State, I believe 2 years ago, man, Sonoma State graduated 2 African American males. 2. Like, man, on the real, that's bullshit, bro. A state school only graduating 2 African American males. That means they're not making any effort to even go out there and attract them. Which if they were smart, Football would eliminate that because you would already have a 80 to 60 to 80 black men on your campuses in one swoop, which will attract black females and Latino females and so on and so on. And now you have a whole slew of diversity coming into your school. Humboldt State, my alma mater, they're going through the same thing. They have no diversity there because they cut off football.
And
So
football brings
where
culture.
so where's the diversity and inclusion if you're cutting off the number one mechanism that attracts men of color?
Mm.
You're not having it. So basically, to me, it's all talk. You bullshit. It's all bullshit at that point because if I want a diversity and inclusion, I'm gonna put it whatever they're biting to come to my company or come to my organization. I'm gonna send it out there because that's the number one thing that's attracting them. I don't cut it off. So I got a real problem with with California state education, and them not being able to fully fund state schools to play football because
Yeah.
they're seeing the numbers are drastically down, and they know and there's an easy mechanism to bring them right back on up, and
Yeah.
they're not even utilizing it.
And it's not like we're one of these, no respect to any states like a Kansas where you have no money in the state. Apple by himself could pay for all this football and D2, the whole state.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing about it, the education thing just came out in the Los Angeles Times. We're at a surplus over a couple of $100 million in state education.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and I'm not, don't get me wrong. Granted, that money needs to go down to the, elementary because we need programs for them as well. But you mean to tell me that you can't set aside a portion of that money to say, you know what, we're going to bring back football program in these state institutions, and let's make these diverse institutions because you keep saying that we don't have a diversity male pool to pull from to be able to hire, or a diversity pool to pull from these college hires. Then let's create one. And there's enough money to create one in all these schools. Man, you got to think if we had 10 schools playing Division II football, that's over 1,000 men getting their degree. 1,000 men you'll be able to pull from in 4 years. Now we created our own pool of people to be able to pull from, and we already know what football comes with it, the other aspects of leadership, teamwork, and all those other good things. So you usually get great employees that play athletics.
Exactly. And it'll be a trickle down effect because the JCs won't be so impacted.
Exactly. They won't be so impacted. Uh, People won't have to be so financially strapped when they go to school and taking out all these major loans because state schools are a lot more affordable.
Exactly.
It makes the whole system run a lot smoother, a lot better. And if we really wanted to, California could be self-contained. If you put 5 D2 schools in Northern California, 5 in Southern California, you have your own conference right there. You don't even have to fly very much, or you only have to fly once within the state. Real affordable for the schools. It doesn't make their budget all crazy, and we get a lot of quality football. Flip side of that, the guys that participate in it still get their family support mechanism because their family gets to come watch and play. They're still close to home, maybe farther, but they're close to home. They be able to get the support system right there, and they can see the generational. They can see them their change in their communities as they're going through it
Maybe
because
the
they're becoming educated.
text right there in their backyard, and I like the two the two conferences because I think as we know Texas does that right now, and Pennsylvania does the same system with their D2.
Yeah. They got it. They got it smart. Go ahead, D.
Coach, no, I was just gonna ask because they brought up junior college football earlier. I was gonna ask you, out of the kids that you were hands on with in class of 2020, and then the kids of right now for class of 2021, have you seen a higher number of these kids having to go out of state for
Oh,
even for junior college? Because I was gonna say California right now, we're it's not a lot. All junior colleges in our state haven't opted in to play. Like I know it's
yep.
only a few of us in this area that have, and Laney's one of them, but I know, like, we packed, we jam
Yeah,
packed,
yeah.
man. So I just wanted to know, have you
Every
seen a certain kid
it's
leaving?
gonna. I think it's all gonna be a freaking a clustered funnel because there's nowhere to go. There's just
Yeah,
nowhere to go, man. There's more demand for football than there is supply. If that
yeah,
makes sense, there's more people that want to play than there is opportunities to play. It's just not there.
yeah.
So the JCs here, I'm sure they're probably at 150 max easily that are down in Southern
And we
California.
don't get scholarships. You can't forget that either. We
Yeah,
don't get
yeah.
scholarships like the other ones.
But think about it. We don't give scholarships, and there's still 150 on the roster,
Yeah,
and that's not including the D1 fallbacks that they're going to get, and the guys that
yeah,
want to come out of state and play because they know California JC ball is the best ball. So with
yeah.
all that being said, it's a funnel for that, just the JC mechanism. Now, if you're a guy that doesn't get a big time Division 1 offer, or even a Division 1 AA offer, we got to remember, in California you got to bounce because there's only so many. We got like what, I think 8 Division 1 schools and 3 Division 1 AA schools. After that, it's over. Otherwise, you're going D3, which you're gonna be paying $50,000 a year to go to school. All of those are very high academic, high cost to go to school. So where does that leave 90% of our kids? You got to go out of state now. So now when I go out of state, I got to leave my mom. It's just me and my mom. Now I got to leave my mom and my sister, and they're very close. They can't even afford to come watch me play. My son is a perfect example. My son's going to Minnesota to play. He's got to go to Minnesota. There's nowhere for him to play here. He wasn't quite Division 1. He was kind of that bubble kid.
Class of 2020 or class of 21?
Class 21. So
Okay.
he didn't have a senior year.
Coach, you gonna send him prep or a JUCO?
Nah, he going straight 4 year. He going to Southwest Minnesota on a scholarship.
Yeah.
He going D2. Yeah. So we took the best opportunity that was there. Now if he blossoms and he grows up and he wants to ball, he still has that one opportunity to transfer if that's what he chooses to do, or he can go there and just fulfill his 4 or 5 years to get his degree and go ahead and live his life out from that point on. But the thing is, that same opportunity is not available in California. It's not available actually nowhere on the West Coast, because Oregon is not. Yeah.
Was it? And if it wasn't, why wasn't it on the table for him as far as junior college ball? He wasn't. He didn't.
JC's cool. Just me and my family. We're more a 4-year program. I believe in the 4-year program instead of JUCO.
Right.
I think JUCO is for kids that need JUCO opportunities. They need that grades. There's something that's missing from them to be able to get to those 4-year schools academically, not athletically. My son was blessed with grades, so he had decent enough grades. Going to JC, he would cool, but explaining to him and knowing him, when you go to JC, no matter how good you are, what player you are, 90% of the time you split in time. So you only got a certain amount of times to get your plays in for somebody to come recruit you. Now, at a Division 2 or 4-year program, for my son, I'm speaking for my son only, he'll be able to develop in that program. So if he's not ready by a freshman year, they're gonna groom him till he gets an opportunity to play probably his redshirt sophomore year or his junior year. When a D2, man, if you ain't ready and you ain't got it, you ain't getting it. They're not cutting. Especially now, it's gonna be real selective now, because now JUCO kids are gonna be competing with kids in the portal that are D1 fallbacks in the portal. So now, if you're not a real baller, or you that guy is kind of just there getting a few plays in where you normally would get an offer, that's not gonna happen no more, because they're just gonna get somebody out of the portal and transfer on over. So the game is it's all elevated, man. It's crazy now. It's just, people, there's no set formula no more at all. The portal just opened everything wide for everybody to get into.
More players, less schools.
It's too many players and not enough schools. Absolutely.
Coach, how do you feel about Lincoln University in Oakland?
You know what, man? I don't know. I got it. My questions are, where you gonna play, who you gonna play, what's your budget, and how you gonna recruit kids? Because at the end of the day, they can say they're just right there around the corner and they're gonna recruit Oakland kids and they're gonna play. But NAIA schedule in California doesn't suffice, because there's no other NAIA schools. There's not even a Division 2 schedule where you can play. Basically, what you can play is either Division 1 AA, which you could probably play Sac State and UC Davis, which they won't have the manpower to play those schools right off the bat. It's going to take them a long time to build that program to get that like that, because after a while you have to be scholarship to get with those guys. You can go up to Oregon and play, but only them is Southern Oregon, and Southern Oregon is basically a D1 fallback. So without spending a massive amount of money, you either playing a Division 3 schedule, which you're coming down south every time, or you're gonna have to travel across the country. I don't know if it's gonna be suffice or not. I don't know anything. I don't know that much about them, but just from those semantics, I don't know how it's gonna actually work unless other NAIs start popping up.
Yeah. So far what I'm hearing, it's a business school. So I thought it had potential hit off rip, because I thought they could just be able to get a lot of the Oakland talent that don't really be able to get out because of grades or whatever the case may be. But this is a business school, so it's actually like it's a little harder to get in than what people expected. But supposedly the founders of the school or the presidents of the school, $1 billion pocket guys, whatever, and they basically wanted to bring football to the school, and I guess they don't have no problem spending money or whatever. So I guess the first season they want to eventually get to D2, which I guess it would be tough at this point because there ain't no other California D2s like they said. But they want to get
Exactly.
to D2 in the next in the future. But I know they say off rip they were supposed to be starting out at NIA level and playing that heavy D2 schedule, and they were supposed to be doing all West Coast D2s, NIAs for this first season. So Oregon, Arizona, shit like that. That type of
Yeah,
that's what they're supposed to
I'm
be trying
interested,
to do.
man.
Yeah, for the first
Bro, if
year,
they
first
pull it off, if they could pull it off, that's dope. I'm gonna tell you right now, if they
year.
pull it off, it's dope. I just don't. I think it's real hard because you gotta understand those schools. When you schedule a school and you schedule a game with a school, it's usually they want two. They want a home and away, right? They want to pay
Yeah,
you home and away. Um, and for them, being a business school and being in Oakland, it's going to be one, you got to have a facilities because you can't just say I'm going to start a school and not have a facilities. That doesn't work that way. You got to have a
yeah,
contract place where you're going to play because you got to have all those things intact. NAI may be different. I'm just saying I know from the NCAA standpoint.
yeah,
Um, now I do hope if they're able to pull it off, I mean, well, let me take it back. If they were going to do this and they were going to do it the right way, I would hope they went to Cal State East Bay and say, let's bring it back here
yeah,
instead of starting in that school in Oakland. And the reason why I say that because Cal State East Bay is already a set institution. They're already there. They got some things going on. That would be the trigger to say, okay, other D2 start to come back right away because Cal State East Bay is doing it, and then fund them to go out instead of starting from a kind of a school that no one knows about. It's only a
yeah,
business school. It's harder to get into. Cal State East Bay would have been a perfect blend because kids know how to get in there. It's at a state level. They have business in all these other majors as well, and now we can go ahead and map
yeah,
ourselves out and get on up out of there. Um,
yeah.
I just think it's real difficult starting from a brand new school that no one's heard of. I mean, again, you say Lincoln High of Lincoln football. I say yeah, cool, but I haven't seen it. I've never ever seen the schedule. Cal State East
Yeah.
Bay, they played the schedule at least years ago. We know who they can get on. They got a little bit more history behind themselves. So
Yeah.
I, I want to see them get on. If they get on, I'll be happy
I
for them.
think they're supposed to be
Yeah.
using College of Alameda's facilities to start off. That's why I believe they're supposed to be using
See, I
College of
think no, I
Alameda's.
think you made some great points because I remember I was in high school. Um, Menlo had a program,
Yep.
and Menlo was the same thing, small private school, business, and they fed it out, and they had
Yep.
the same type of plan. Now, me being from Oakland, I'm hoping Lincoln works out. But I think you made a great point. Like, think about it, and there's well
When
known
did they
people.
fade out? They just faded out a few years ago,
Yeah,
right?
there's well known
Yeah. Miller
people that
just
went
fed out
to
about 3 or 4 years ago. No, about
yeah,
5 years ago. Miller
yeah.
was gone. Yeah.
Yeah, there's well known people that went to Cal State East Bay, like Coach Carter,
Coach
right?
Carter,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that went there. So, hey, if they bring it back, hopefully it starts there.
Yeah, I would think that I'm trying to push an initiative actually to go to all those state schools and kind of figure out how can we bring it back. And my proposal is to bring it back obviously non-scholarship at first because you don't want to battle Title IX without having them readjust Title IX. So if you come out start off as non-scholarship first and maybe give kids grants or maybe not just let them go off for financial aid, each one of those schools will fill up to play football because kids want to play. It's the bottom line. Everybody wants to play. Now, who doesn't want to go to Chico State and play? Whether you're on scholarship or not right now. But I do believe if you do non-scholarship Division II, there needs to be a plan like the next 5 or 6 years. How do we transition into scholarship? And at that point, how do we transition into Division I AA?
What do
You
you
know what I
think would
mean?
be more feasible to start off bet though? First, D2
I,
or
I
NII route? D2
I
or
think
NII
D
route?
two, D two. Right now, it would be the hottest thing to be able to go because if you brought in Humboldt, because you got to remember all your sports got to play at the same level. So you can't just have division. You can't have a Division II football team and a D1 basketball team. They all have to play at the same level. So if we went with straight up, so California. So if we went with Humboldt, Sonoma State, Chico State, SF State, and Cal State East Bay. That's the five in the north. If we hit a few in the central, if we hit Cal State Monterey, if we hit Cal State Bakersfield, if we hit down here, Cal State San Marcos, and then you could throw in a couple of public schools. I mean, private schools if they want to join, like Pacific Lutheran, or I'm sorry, Point Loma out here in San Diego would be another one good one. And if you
Azusa back.
do, yeah, if you do any of the other one, any other private school that want to, you have a 10-game season. Azusa back, exactly. If you brought Azusa back, that's 10 teams right there, all non-scholarship, all would play football with a 5-year plan saying we're going scholarship in 5 years. That gives a coach 5 years to turn that program around, figure out how to raise money, figure out how to make the school balance themselves out, You're not affecting Title IX at all, and you get the program to get back on. Within 5 years, they should be having enough of a budget to be able to do things. And let's be honest, it's a bus league. Get on the Greyhound, you get where you got to go, and you stay the night. If you're coming from Humboldt all the way to San Diego, it's a 2-day bus trip. That's just what it has to be. So, but I mean, I'd rather for us to have to do a 2-day bus trip than not have it at all.
Yep.
Because at that point, we're affecting. Now, if we had 10 schools with football programs, that's 1,000 men at schools, on campuses, inclusion, making an impact, getting educated, learning about tech, learning about agriculture, learning about whatever they want, history, being teachers, learn how to be police officers, whatever they want to be. Now they're inclusive in an environment where they can learn and be successful. Instead of getting casted out at the end of the day, graduating from high school, maybe go to JC and got to go get a 9 to 5 or go to the military. That's probably the only one choice. Or you're going to take a penitentiary chance at the end of the day. I don't want none of them, man. They should have another option to be able to go get their degree and be educated.
Man, I hope you get this done. This would be amazing. You seem like you got the whole plan ready to go.
I got a plan, man. It's the right people got to listen, man. And it's funny because it falls on deaf ears because nobody wants to listen. It's like, I'll be honest, like Division II's the forgotten ones. We're like the forgotten lost cause, And I say that because D1s always get the accolades, man. And that doesn't mean D2s don't put in the same amount of work. Matter of fact, there's some D2s that could beat some D1 schools, in my opinion. I know for a fact.
One of my boys played for Texas A&M Commerce.
Yeah.
And one of his good friends too.
Yeah.
They won a national championship. 2 dudes on
Yeah.
NFL roster for that team. Couple dudes got some NFL tryouts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm seeing how Texas is in football. I mean, it's 10,000 people at the game for a D2 game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and the way technology is now with streaming, with the streaming availability you have, there's a lot of ways to generate money for a Division II school. If you can't be televised on national TV, you can go stream. Someone could have a streaming channel to televise all of them. Go ahead.
No, you're 100%.
Yeah,
I think with the pitch to the state schools, I know in Texas they charge $5 per stream to log into the stream.
Yeah.
Same
So now the family. So if you from Oakland and your kid's playing up at Humboldt, you can watch. If you can't be there, you can watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can watch it online. The families can watch it online and support their kid and go from there instead of being across country. I believe it's a revenue stream, and I believe that if they brought football back, I think it would be embraced, especially at the Division II level. I mean, in Oakland alone, man, there's so many youth that I know of when I was living out there. It's just so many talented youth that don't get an opportunity. And part of it's just because they don't know. They don't know where to go have an opportunity. How great would it be to have Chico a little bit further, but you have Sonoma State, Winston Santa Rosa, SF State, and Cal State East Bay right there in the back. That's 2 teams right there, right in their backyard. And then you would go down to Monterey a little bit if you want to get away from it. So if you have 4 schools in that vicinity, man, you'd have Oakland kids, San Francisco kids, San Jose kids, all on those rosters ready to play and compete against each other with 4 more years of football, and that's what's gonna keep you in school. I know for a fact, me playing football, if I didn't have football, I would have never graduated. Matter of fact, I would have never went to school if I didn't have football. I'd have been doing something else.
Yeah.
So no, I mean I couldn't agree more. I think it's feasible if the right people come together, like you said.
Yeah, it's got to fall on the right person's ear, man. And brothers like you giving me this platform to be able to talk and be able to expand it, so it sparks somebody else's interest to have it and do it. I hope the guys from Lincoln University are listen to it as well. That they're trying to do that. I hope they're listening to me because I would love to get on the same page with them and like, how can we bring this back? What doors can we penetrate and what doors can we knock down to get the right people to hear us to bring this back? Because I think it's more important than just. It's really more important than just now. It's important for our future. Us as black people and us as black men expanding, man. We don't think about it, man. At the rate we're going right now, at the rate that's going right now, it seems like the women will be taking care of us more than we'll be taking care of ourselves and our families ourselves. Because women are getting educated at an alarming rate. We should be at that same rate. We should be at that same alarming rate, so we can be equals.
Yeah.
Somehow we fell behind somehow, and it's kind of disappointing.
You don't want me to go there as far as the media emasculating black men, because I definitely understand where you're going at. Where you're going with that one, Coach. I got three, 2 quick fire questions and one for you to ponder on and think about. I got 3 before we let you go. All right, Coach. So I'm gonna shoot you. These are 2 fire ones, kind of back to back. It's a list. I need your top 5. Because I know you play DB, right? You play DB back in your playing days, Coach. So first off, I need your top 5 DBs, and And then you know what? It ain't even top 5 DBs how we do it. I'm tripping. We need your all-time secondary.
Yeah.
We need your all-time secondary. Your personal favorite. So you need 2 corners, a nickel, and 2 safeties.
Okay. So we're going straight out. My safety, my strong safety, Jack Tatum, Oakland
Okay.
native
Oh,
for
I
sure.
like that.
Okay.
You know, I'm
You
gonna go. Definitely, my corner will be Deion, just because he can lock down half the field by himself. If I'm gonna go free safety, I like Ronnie Lott a lot, man. I do like Ronnie Lott, but I mean Charles Woodson is gonna be hard to pull. Yeah, I like Lott and Woodson. Matter of fact, I can keep Lott and Woodson both in my second. So that rounds off my safeties. I got Lott, Wilson, and Jack Tatum as my safeties. I'll keep them those guys. I got Deion as one corner, as my other corner. Man, I'm gonna have to go with man, Ramsey's a bad boy, dude.
Okay. You the first one to go with the young bull.
Hey, Ramsey, man. I mean, dude, he just intimidates dudes. He's a dog, man. And I mean, I like all other dudes that's in the league that's balling, but I'm gonna have to go with Ramsey, man. I think he's battle tested too, for sure.
You'll have Seawood in the slot. Then you'll put Seawood at this nickel.
I put Seawood at the nickel. Yeah. I put him at the nickel because he can play corner and safety. He can definitely guard a tight end or a slot. Yeah, I'm good with him there.
You got Tatum a lot.
Yeah. A lot of DBs and defensive coaches on here. And I'll say this is the most diverse list. We got from the old school from Jack Tatum to the medium old school with Lott. Then we got Prime. You got one of every area. So I like this list.
That was the best. By far the most diverse list, Coach. I'll give you that one. All right. Okay. Next one is give me your top 5 coaches.
Oh, of all time?
Yeah, your favorites.
Oh man, college or just pro?
You can do it both. Like you can include both on your list.
Overall. All right, so
and just straight up coaching football.
Straight up coaching football. I'm gonna go with straight up. I'm gonna give Don Shula his props. Obviously, having the only undefeated team ever, in the NFL, that speaks volumes. Period. I'm a big Buddy Ryan fan back in the day because he was defensive minded with Philly. I'm a huge Belichick fan. I don't care what nobody say. The dude's a mastermind on the field.
That's right.
I like Denny Green. Rest in peace, Denny Green. I think he brought a whole different dynamic.
I was reading Tony Dungy book from Zay. He put Tony Dungy on. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Denny Green has been huge, man. His pedigree. And let's give my man in Kansas City. Forgot his name off the back of my head.
Eric Bieniemy or Andy?
No, the head coach, Andy Reid.
That's I'm an Eagles fan. I love Big Red.
Andy Reid, man. Andy Reid is probably around on my top 5, man, because I believe he's developed a pedigree within his organization to do some big things. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a hell of other coaches I could be naming. They goes big time. Tom Flores, Eric Coryell, all those old school guys that brought it around. Even people give Bill Washington all those guys credits. Bill Washington's had a lot of talent around him too to be able to run the West Coast offense. Now you see with guys like Andy Reid run the West Coast offense. Look what they got, what they doing with talent. He putting up quadruple the kind of numbers that Bill Walsh was able to put up with defenses being a lot faster. So I believe these guys are being transcended. Now, all of my all-time favorite, man, I'm gonna have to go with Belichick, man. And the reason why I'm gonna say Belichick is I win by any means necessary. And when you're a coach and you're in the league where as long as he has, having that kind of attitude, whether you like it or not, you gotta respect it. Because he's gonna win. He's gonna win. And I know he's in a lump right now with the squad he got, but it's not because of his system, it's because of the personnel. He don't got enough dogs on his team yet to make it happen. And go from there.
I love that. Everything of Bill Belichick too. His worst year ever is 7-9. Coach, I mean, like you said, Andy's had worse year. I mean, most of the coaches on the list have had a worse year than that. Right now I will say Belichick did have his time with the Browns, right? That years. But in 20 seasons, that's your worst? Come on now.
I like to ask both you guys.
I can't argue with you, man.
I like to ask both you guys. How do you guys feel about? Because we was talking about Denny Green and black coaches a minute ago. How do you guys feel about Tomlin having 10 plus years as the head him in Pittsburgh, but never having a black assistant coach or black coordinator at either position or coordinator, special teams coordinator or defensive coordinator? In 10 plus years, he's never had.
You go first?
Yeah, you take that one.
You want to go first?
Yep,
Yeah.
take it.
So I'm gonna say this to Tom. I think that even though he's a head coach, he doesn't have control. That's a GM that's making those decisions for him, and Pittsburgh doesn't have a black GM, and they have Mr. Rooney and them and the owners. As diverse as they may want to seem, those people in power are gonna let you control as much as they want to let you control. Now, Tomlin, I think should have some say so on who he should have on his coaching staff, and maybe have some African Americans on there. But in the same retrospect, I'm proud of the brother because he's been able to have a longevity in the league, doing what he's doing and being successful. I think he is a great coach, but I also believe that if he doesn't turn things around, I think he's going to be on the short leash. Unlike his counterparts that are white, they'll get chance over chance over chance over chance to have a winning, losing, 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 winning, losing, 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 winning, and still get head coaching jobs. He's not at that privy. He's only going to be there as long as he's successful. As soon as Tomlin starts to fall off and be unsuccessful, not only will he not have no black assistants, they won't have a black head coach there either. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just real. But I mean, I don't think that's his call per se. I think that's kind of the GM's call or the front office's call who they want to bring in, and they may get his input on it and then go from there. I don't think it's deliberate by any means from what
That's
I've
what
seen it from him and what I
that's
know.
what I was hearing is more so the front
Yeah,
office
I mean, I was
say.
pretty much gonna say the same thing. I just feel like when you are a black coach, you don't have full control of your organization, and you have those coaches in the league. I don't think there's that one. I just call them CEO coaches that have full control, like Kyle Shanahan, like John Lynch answers to him.
Andy Reid too, yeah, Reid,
Yeah,
yeah,
Carroll,
Reid
right,
got his.
right.
Pete
Pete
Carroll,
Carroll,
yeah.
right, and so
Yeah,
you don't
no,
have a black coach like that. You do have like Tom Flores, right? He doesn't have full control over the organization. So, I think
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be tough. One day we'll get that coach that hopefully can have full control of the organization. But yeah, it's tough because, like you said, the owner has.
Yeah.
Hey, I make $500 to $600 million a year off my franchise. I'm giving you full control of it, from personnel to that's. we'll see that when we got a black owner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's you just hit it. If we don't have ownership, it's hard. It's gonna be hard for us to take control. I mean, that's like just anything. Um, we gotta wait for them to give us a chance instead of taking a chance. But the NFL, that's the good old boy network, man. And, I won't pull no punches. That's 29 out of the 30. Those are rich white old men.
Yeah.
And
Oh
what do
Lord.
what do rich white old men hate?
Yeah.
Young brothers. They don't.
Yeah.
They have a problem with young
Yep.
brothers. They have a problem either whether it be our attitude or the way we do, the way we do things or the way we operate. They've always had a problem with that. Now they've had to conform because the lead is made up of a lot of minorities and African Americans. But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that doesn't mean they don't like it. They don't like us enough to put us in that situation to have full control.
As we see with the Texans right now.
Yes, I mean it's a situation, man.
I mean,
Now I got some questions. I got some questions for y'all, young brothers. So while I
Okay.
got you on the phone real quick, got you
Okay.
on the horn. So how do you guys feel about the University of Texas situation with all that racial tension going on with their staff as far and their players and stuff is going on? If you don't know the background, the theme their alma mater song is very racist, and I've heard there's been a lot of conflicts between the players and the alumni as far as bashing heads about no racial tension. How do you guys feel about something like that?
I haven't heard much of that story, but I believe it because I remember the alumni having issues. First of all, they just got rid of the last Herman, right? They just got rid of
Hmm.
him as well, right?
Yep.
Okay, and I remember it was some rumblings under his helm, but I remember the ownership having the problem with after Mac Brown left when they hired Charlie Strong. So I'm not surprised as far as by their ownership, and it's crazy because I don't know if my favorite color is orange, but as a kid I used to want to go to the University of Texas a lot, all the time. But getting older, they told me how real white Austin, Texas is. It's a lot different from
Hmm.
how I envisioned it as a kid. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised by those rumblings and those tensions at all. I mean, it's Texas, man. Like I said, I played ball down there in the South, and we know how it can be down there.
Yeah, I look at it. I'll
Yeah.
tell you a full perspective, right? Let's say I'm a big time Power Five recruit, right? Why would I want to go to a program like that that's dealing with that? And one, I'm a Power Five recruit in 2021. I might not remember Vince Young. I might have been 3 years old. I don't remember Texas with Vince Young in
Hmm.
those days. Ricky Williams, right? Chris Benson,
Hmm.
Earl Thomas. Like
Yeah.
those days are gone. So I think this Texas might end up like one of those programs that just we might not hear for a long time that was a powerhouse. You know, that's what I think. That's going to continue from this. They don't
Mhm.
have a coach. No top coach wants to go there. You know, they're not looked at as a top program. They're going. So it's.
The
I don't
only
know.
reason why I won't say they wouldn't fade out is because they're in one of those states he named
They
earlier.
could
That's
pay.
like, you feel me, and they do still have that booster. Like
Yep.
they still got the alumni. Like
But-
that's a top program and recruit area. That
Alright.
state.
But check this out. If you're Texas A&M, they're in the SEC with Jimbo Fisher. So if I'm a recruit in Texas, do I want to do SEC where I see NFL, and Jimbo Fisher is a big time coach, and Texas A&M has been ranked top 15 every year since he's been there. I look at Texas hurting right now at overall.
Yeah.
What do you think?
But my thing with that though, I agree with both of you. Actually, you guys both for good points. But I believe Texas will still strive because they are the University of Texas, and Texas A&M can only take so many players. You got to remember the roster can only fill up so much. So if they don't get maybe the top recruit, they're going to get some great recruits still come out of Texas. Now, what I do think the window that's been left open from this is like the Baylors now and the TCUs are now going to come up on players that they might normally would go to Texas. They now might start considering those two schools to go
And
to
that's
instead of
Oklahoma
them.
time too. That's
Okay.
Oklahoma State now too.
Yeah, Oklahoma State. Yeah, absolutely.
You guys, you know I'm on the coaching end now. My college coach at Southeastern, he's the defensive coordinator now at Baylor. Y'all, all I'm saying is y'all better watch out. That defense, he was hands on defense when I was down there. He know his shit, man. That 3-3-5, he ahead of his time. He it's my favorite defense already. It's one of my favorite defenses already that I've come in contact with, and he can do some things. And the head coach Arnada, I believe his name is actually from under my coach, Coach Rob, the DC. He actually groomed him back at Delta State when they was together in D2. So I think I for sure see Baylor on the rise in the next year or two, for sure. I'm trying to get him
Okay,
on the
so
show. I
now
need
my
to
second question.
talk to him last year. I need to get him on the show, man. He big time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I got
Yeah, he making that good money now, man.
yeah, I got
Yeah,
two more
go
for
ahead.
you, Coach. I got two more. One more. Second to last one is top 5 sports movies. I need a top 5 sports movies.
That's a new one.
Oh man, top 5 sports movies. Number
Yeah.
one is the program.
Okay.
The program is number one. Number two, I like Remember the Titans.
Can't
You
go wrong
know
with that.
that was dope.
Classic.
I'm a kind of a sap for this one, but definitely Little Giants, my little kids movie. That was bomb.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Uh,
Coach said, "Look,
I'm
nice."
yeah. I'm gonna go ahead. And Loving Basketball was dope, of course.
Okay.
You can't
Okay.
go wrong with
And I know I'm missing one. Let me see.
You missing
Friday
one of
Night-
my
Friday Night
favorites. That's
Lights?
what I was finna say.
Who? Say it
Friday Night
again.
Lights?
Oh yeah, Friday Night Lights. There you go. I was about to say I'm missing one. There you go. Friday Night
I'm
Lights
like,
is on one.
remember the
Yeah.
Titans in there out Friday night like, nah, Booby. You gotta let Booby
Yeah.
spin, Coach. Come
Booby's the
on,
man,
man.
man. Yeah. But
You know
that's the one
what
I
I
was
mean?
forgetting. But I
Booby
mean,
in it.
but the program is my number one, dude. Program that at least back when they had it, that emulated what football and what recruiting, and that's how people played it was about back then. I mean, it got a little bit extreme, but that's probably as real as it got with the recruiting aspect. How you come in and play, how you got to compete right off the bat, how you got to do, how they treat rookie, freshmen coming in to upperclassmen, to how dudes are taking roids to get. Yeah, I mean, it covered everything that kind of embodied when I was playing that was coming into the game. So that's always gonna be my number one.
Okay. And last one before we let you go, Coach, we like to ask all our guests this question, okay? Just know before you answer this question, if you know the person, you gotta give us the live, okay?
All
Question.
right.
Who should we have next on the pod? And if you, like I said, if you know him, you gotta give us the live so we can get them on here.
I think a person you guys should probably have is Hardy Nickerson.
Okay,
He's a
yeah.
Bay Area. He's a Cal
Coach
legend.
Hardy,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Coach Hardy would be a great person to have on. He's definitely a Cal Berkeley legend. Obviously, did his years in the NFL. And actually, you should have him and his son on. That would be even better. Him and Hardy Jr. Since Hardy's playing in the NFL, so they got some generation things to go on, man. And they can. I think Coach Hardy can really talk about his journey, how he got to the league, and where he's from, and also how his son is now currently in the league and doing this thing, man. I think both of those would be great people on you guys' shows and great inspirations for you young guys to be able to find out and kind of follow.
Yeah,
Also, man, you know,
I played against Coach Hardy. I think I put it on him one time. I put it on him one time. He got on me. I think it's
yeah,
last year at Odell.
Oh,
I think
we
it's
were
last
right
year
there.
at Odell. I think we got on him, but he got on me the year before too. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, he would be a great person to kind of to get on the show, man, and have him. And I'll throw y'all a lob for show with that one. Make sure I get y'all in contact with him. But
All
I
right.
mean, if you guys could reach out, man, I would think there's a couple of cats, man. I mean, Joe Mixon, if you guys can somehow get a hold of him, just from the
Okay.
East, East Bay. You know,
Yep.
Najee's
Yep.
coming
Yep.
out. You know, Najee's gonna be in the draft. That'll be another good guy to see if you guys can reach out to him somehow.
Yeah. We
I
couldn't
mean,
talk
it's
to
just a
that
phone
Danny.
call at this point. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a phone call and getting on the camera.
Yeah.
Um, those dudes is always great to have on there, man. But I mean, I would say, man, just keep doing what you guys are doing, man. I mean, like I said, if I was you, I would get the guys from Lincoln University on this bad boy and have them come here and talking. Really, let's explain it.
Yeah,
That
And
we
I'm
have.
talking
DB
about
coach,
dude.
that DB coach done been on here like
Yeah.
3 times. My guy, Coach Dico. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
Coach Dico.
but
Yeah,
I'm
we got
talking about the money man. Now, the Deco cool, but I want to hear from the money man and the
yeah,
strategy. Like, how do
yeah,
you
top
plan on
guy.
getting it? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
I like
The
I
that.
like
mouthpiece
to
could
put
talk.
that on there.
Yeah.
Oakland, we
Yeah,
gonna have to. We gotta go find the dean. We gotta go find the
yeah,
dean. I
yeah,
like it.
yeah, the dean, and say, give us the law of the land and your plan on how we're gonna go
Why
ahead and
you
do
even
this.
wanted to do this? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you're not, like I said, those questions like you was asking me, who could they play and all that, maybe they got a solid answer, man. I honestly don't know what they're gonna do, but I do believe their ambition and their intentions are right on the right path. Definitely, no matter what, no matter if it works or not, their intentions are on the right path. I just believe, like I said, I wish they would have took it to the, to Hayward or maybe San Francisco State, someone that's established, gave money to that program there and said, let's kick it on off.
Mm.
I think you would get a lot more players, from all over to be able to participate in that, because now you got guys that want to, major in computers, people that want to do in law and so on and so on. They would all come to the school, participate in sports, and get down with it instead of just being a business school, because they just kind of lock themselves in one genre, as far as education is concerned. So, man, bro, I mean, man, y'all doing it, bro. I'm proud of y'all. I think you
Mm.
guys got a cool ass platform, man, coming in. Keep driving, man. I think you guys should keep driving and keep expanding that web, bro. Keep getting
All
that
right.
web on out there to more people, man. I think you guys got something special going on.
All right, we appreciate it. We appreciate you taking the time. Hey, after a long week, Friday, and
Yeah.
hopping on the pod with us, man. It's been
Uh,
great. We get a lot of free game too for all the high
Yeah.
school kids or
uh,
kids in college trying to make that move.
Yeah.
oh man, I'm from the old school, man. Game is to be told, not sold. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
I
So
love
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
just
God,
pass
man,
down this,
I
man.
appreciate you, big dog. I
Yeah,
appreciate
no,
you, man, forever and day, man. You know how you came through and looked out for me, man. So I always I stay locked in with you since high school, and I'm gonna stay locked in with you, man. Good brother, I appreciate everything you do for me and the youth out there, man, for sure.
absolutely, man. Let's give a shout out to Break the Huddle, man. Majette Whiteside and them doing their thing out
Yep,
there,
yep.
in the Bay Area. They kind of imitate exactly what I do in Southern California with the All Star games and all that stuff, man. I think hopefully we get
Was you
back on
tied
track
in?
next
'Cause
year.
I coached with them last year. Was you a part of sending them kids up to us? Cause we had
Um, no, you
I
guys
think
had the LA team. Yeah, the LA team. Yeah, you guys played against LA. You guys played
yeah,
against the LA squad. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I put my jet in with him because we got supposed to play San Diego, but we
yeah.
didn't.
We were
We
supposed to play San
we couldn't
Diego.
get.
They were supposed to put
Yeah,
2 teams, right?
yeah. But we couldn't make it down there. We wasn't gonna be able to make it down there. So, um,
Okay.
that way, and that game right there, we gotta change a few things in them to make it more successful. But I believe those types of games like that and those types of things will give kids another platform to be able to showcase their talent and get on up out there, which is more important. But man, I think more important than that, man, I just got to figure out a way to just bring this damn D2 football back to California, so all those kids
Yeah.
can have a home to
Do it.
play instead of playing
Yeah.
in just an all-star game and got to go somewhere up out of state. Once we get that
Right.
accomplished, man, with a collective effort, bro, we'll be all good. We'll all be good.
Right.
That way,
That's
D,
right.
now you can be coaching at Cal State East Bay instead of Laney. Now you can
Hey
be
man,
DB
Hey,
coach
come
over
on,
hey,
man.
there
Hey,
too.
hey,
Blaine.
I got my foot in there. I'm at the level I want to be at now. It's time to hit the ground running and go to work. I'm trying to, I gotta get,
Yeah,
I gotta go to work, bro. Gotta go to work, man.
that's what I'm,
That's what I'm doing
that's
right
what I'm
now. I'm on
talking
that
about.
recruiting trail. Find me some. Hey, if you got any dogs down there, send them my way. You already know I'll take care of them. Just send them my
You know
way.
the crazy thing. You know the crazy thing about that, like especially since y'all was on the Last Chance U, kids are interested,
Yeah,
but it's the same. It's the same thing. They don't want to leave home, man, because they don't got that support mechanism. And like here in Southern
yeah,
California, we got 3 JCs at least in just San Diego alone, we got 3, and of course Southern California, we got like a ton of them. I think what's going to be the tipping point is who's going to opt in to play and who's not. You know, that's where things is going. That's where it's going to get murky, and kids trying to figure it on out. But
It looks like we should be able to. I think we're gonna opt in to play. It looks like we're gonna opt in. Yeah, so far.
Yeah, I don't know. These guys, I think only one school so far is opted in, which is Mesa, San Diego Mesa. The big one, Southwestern, where we got the big stadium. I don't know if they opted in yet or not. And I know Grossmont, I don't think they've opted in at all. And neither has Palomar, actually. We have 4. Palomar hasn't opted in at all either. So I think everybody's just playing that waiting game, man. You know, I mean, let's be real, man. This COVID shit ain't no joke. It's not, you know, people want to play around with it and act like it don't exist. But if you go back east and you go down south to see how many, you know, of our grandfathers and our cousins and our uncles and stuff, they did the caught it or got sick from it, man. Motherfuckers just need to wake up a little bit and be a lot more cautious. I mean, I don't want to stop our lives, but I mean, we gotta walk in the right lane just to make sure we don't spread this stuff no more.
No, definitely, and always be safe. Wear the mask and do what you got to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate you again, Coach. I'm gonna make sure I tap in with you. All right, baby.
All right,
anytime, man. I'll come on anytime, man. Y'all just let me know, fam.
Yes, sir. All right, have a good one. Stay safe, man.
You too. Late.
We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the Huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is time to get back to the huddle.